Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Turn this room, turn it to an ocean.
Hello, ladies. Let me get everybody unmuted here so we can actually talk to each other. How is everybody?
Good? Doing good.
Good.
Doing good? Okay, so everybody can hear each other. Woohoo! This is scary.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, I know. So we were supposed to have one more on here. I'm not sure where she's at. Terry was supposed to be on here. If she pops in, we'll throw her on. Chris is taking the night off because Justin's family is in town, and so they're gonna go hang out with them, and so they'll be with us in spirit. But we got two new ones on the top who I know you guys have seen on Wednesdays, but if you may not be familiar, we've got Sheila and we've got Kathy. So you guys want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi. And Lori and I are proudly sporting. I'll stand up so I can show mine. Our shirts. I'm so short. I'm trying to stand up so everybody can see it. It says "Free Mom Hugs" because Lori and I are proud mothers of some pretty amazing daughters who happen to be lesbians. And my daughter is actually getting married in April, and I could not be more excited if I wanted to. So, super excited.
Congratulations. Yep.
Yes. Oh, got a couple comments coming in. Dawn says hello.
Hello, Dawn. Hello, Dawn.
So tonight we were talking. We're going to be talking about the oh my God, I can't speak today. LGBTQ community as far as trucking. And before we get into all that, and we'll get into it in a few minutes, but one of the things I think that shocked me the most, and I mean, we're familiar with, but we're not familiar as far as being a truck driver and being lesbian or gay or transgender or bisexual. So our perspective is completely different. We're familiar as far as we have children. So when I tried to research it, and Lori tried to research it, and Chris, one thing I think we found out was how do I want to put this? Underrepresented our truckers who are lesbian, gay, transgender, or bisexual are. There doesn't seem to be a lot of support. I found only 2 decent Facebook support groups, which I'm going to put in the bottom of the links there for you. And so I was kind of disappointed. And we do have a guest speaker coming on a little bit, Joanne, who's going to be talking about it. And I'll show the links throughout the show so that you guys have reference to them. But it was kind of an eye-opener.
It was a little disappointing when we're researching it, and there wasn't a whole lot. It was all 2019, 2018, maybe 2020.
Yeah, it was not good. Oh, Terry's here. Hold on. Hey, Miss Terry.
Hi, guys.
Terry.
How are you?
Good. I apologize for the way I look. As you all know, I've been pretty sick, so sorry.
Terry's been fighting COVID also.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I just found out it was Omicron. I'm the first person in my town to have that variant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like, okay, thanks, people.
Right.
Now I was
Terry,
hoping
what
to
you
grow this.
first.
What is?
I said Terry's always got to be the first, right?
Oh, no. Well, heck, I was one of the first female truckers with a CDL. I might as well be the first in our town, whatever.
Yeah. They never told me what strand I had. They just assumed that's what I had because they said that the symptoms and everything I had kind of correlated that's probably what I had. So I'm like, yeah, probably. The biggest thing is we still got the shortness of breath and being tired and the body.
Well, it's funny because I thought I was like over it the other day, like 4 days ago. I thought, oh, sweet. And then, you get up, you start doing stuff, and then it just bitch slaps you right back into bed. It just like, bam. You
Mhm.
That's
know,
what
A
I'm,
lot.
and you
yeah,
thought you were
that's what I'm
smart,
telling
I'll show
everybody.
you.
You wake up in the morning, you feel great, and then by the afternoon, you feel like shit, or it's vice versa. It's like every day's different.
And mine was vice versa. The later in the day, the better I felt.
Yep. Yep.
But
So
yeah,
I was going to bring up a couple of news stories that's been going on today. A lot of things been happening today. So we kind of talked a little bit about the Freedom Convoy last week that has been happening, well, for a week and a half now in Canada. They're still there at the Parliament in Ottawa protesting the mandates. And I've received a lot of stuff as far as articles saying that, you know, the Ottawa residents are getting kind of frustrated because some of the truckers are making real messes there, and they're getting loud and getting intimidating. But then the other thing is, this morning, GoFundMe shut down they had a GoFundMe page that was set up where they wound up receiving $9 million in donations. And the GoFundMe corporation shut down the fundraiser this morning. And so everybody's like, okay, well, where's that money going to?
yeah,
And then I guess just 2 hours ago, they said that after the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, said that he was going to call for a full investigation on GoFundMe has decided to refund all the donations that were received. So that $9 million that was supposed to go to the Canadian Freedom Convoy is now going to be refunded back to all the people that made the donation. So it seems like every day there's something new with this convoy.
yeah, it's
Right.
crazy. But I do like the solidarity, the way they came together to fight for
Yeah,
a cause. I mean, that's something that if truckers did more often, we get more done. You know, we just can't seem to get it together here on the south side of the border.
I know they're supposed to be doing a convoy March 1st from California to Washington.
Yeah,
I don't think that we're going to have nearly the amount of support that Canada said. Just today, I was looking at the people that were going up to the Parliament today and bringing up food and bringing up clothing and
yeah.
everything to support the truckers. And I'm like, I just don't think that we would have that same support here.
No, and
Yeah.
I agree, and I also think that we're not going to get the number of truckers.
Mhm.
You know, you'll get a couple hundred owner operators, maybe. That's all That's all we always ever get,
Yep.
and that
Lori,
we
you
need
have
to
your
shut them
feelers?
down.
Yeah. Lori, did you have any say so on that, or anything you wanted to say about the convoy and what's been going on?
I just think it's amazing. I think that the United States needs to have the same thing, the same support for what's going on with this. And I don't really see that happening, like you said. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see in March.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I think the other issue is that a lot of people are company drivers. So when it comes to company drivers, like myself included, we can't just take the company truck and go without having permission,
No.
first of all. And
Yeah,
so I just don't know if we'll have the same support. It'll be interesting. And I'm there, you know, for all my truckers supporting you guys. I know Larry and I, we will try to get a run because I would love to be there with you, but
Yeah,
I can't just take off, especially after being off
we
for 3
wanna
weeks.
try to get a run too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's how it is with my husband. If we can get a run in that area,
Mhm.
we'll ride along, but we just can't go because he's a company driver.
Right.
absolutely. Hold on just a second. I got somebody.
Sheila, what do you think of it?
I think it's a good idea. I really do. And I support the ones that want to do it. I think they should. Because, like, like me and Angie were talking on Wednesday. It's every driver's decision on whether or not they want to get the vaccine.
Right.
Yeah.
They say once you have COVID, you've already got antibodies in you, so there's no sense in getting the vaccine. But if they want to get the vaccine, fine, let them get the vaccine. That's everybody's personal choice.
Mhm.
You can't just mandate it, because that's when you start getting people pissed off, and
Yep.
you mandate truck drivers to get vaccine, and we're gonna have a strike. That's all there's going to be. That's what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
It's amazing to me how many people are dividing this country on the vaccine thing. You know,
Right.
I tried to make light of it, and I made little short videos, and I kind of did this thing where I'm like, day one, okay, it didn't kick my butt too bad. I just kind of did this thing. I got a couple hateful, like, well, don't you feel stupid now? You deserve to get it because you refused to get the shots like you should have gotten,
Yeah.
and you deserved it. And I bet you feel dumb now, and on and on. And I'm like, you know what? That's my choice. I respect your choice to get it. Then you need to shut up and respect my choice to not get it.
That's
It-
right.
it's dividing our
Well,
country, and that's heartbreaking.
my youngest son, who is 24, he'll be 25 this year, got vaccine. Guess what? He still got COVID.
Yeah.
Not as bad as people that don't get the vaccine, but yet he still tested positive for COVID.
Well,
Yep.
I've been fighting it at home. Angela, you did too. You and Larry didn't end up in the hospital, correct?
No.
And see, I didn't either. I mean, and I had 103 temp and the whole nine. I refused to go. I didn't go, but I didn't really need to go. My sister-in-law, who lives 3 miles up the road, got COVID. She's fully vaccinated, and she was in the hospital on a ventilator.
Yeah.
I never. So you tell me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see. And that's the thing. I think go ahead, Sheila.
It depends on person. It depends on their previous health history, whether or not they have a weakened immune system, whatever. Vaccine because of having a weakened immune system. But that was
And see, I have the same. I
my
have a
oldest
compromised
son.
immune system.
So do I.
Yeah, and so I
And
was
really,
surprised.
I
I'm
my
glad you're
oldest
okay,
son,
Sheila.
his girlfriend, and my granddaughter all tested positive for COVID.
Oh wow.
And poor son, Angie, he's like exhausted. He's like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
He says, I can't even get out. My neighbor
Okay.
across
Yeah,
the
and I
street, she's
believe
75, got COVID. She had the brain fog like you had.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember
It's
having it.
yeah.
So
The brain fog is the worst, and we've still got it really bad. I mean, we forget the simplest of things that we should not be forgetting. We forget to take our medication. I'll tell you how bad my brain fog is. I forgot to feed and water the dogs. I mean, they had no food and water. I'm like common sense stuff that should be. We just keep forgetting stuff over and over again. Oh,
yeah, and that's how my
Wow.
okay.
neighbor
So
was.
we got Joanne Mills
So
in the back here, so I'm going to bring her on. And for those of you guys
awesome.
that don't know, Joanne has been a guest on our show a couple times, and she is a diva, and she's a female trucker. So we're going to bring Joanne in here real quick. Give me just a second.
By the way, Angela, for being so sick, you look wonderful.
Oh, thank you. All right, trying to get the layout here, guys. Sorry. Okay, I do not like this layout. Sorry, I'm trying to get us all on here, and it's not letting me.
If you need to cancel a video, Angela, you can leave my audio on, but cancel my video so she can have the space.
All right, yeah, maybe I'll do that. Hold on just a second. I'm not going to cancel you. Well, hold on. Okay, hold on. All right, well, can we still hear Terry?
Terry, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Oh, Lord. This is taking me forever. Sorry, guys. Okay. There we go. Trying to get it figured out. Hey, Joanne, how are you? Joanne, can you hear us?
Yes. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
How are
How's
you doing
everybody?
tonight?
I'm doing all right. I'm kind of agitated today, but
Uh-oh, what's wrong?
that's just. I'm doing a 34, and they're turning it into a 48, and it's got me agitated.
Oh no, again?
My 34 is done at midnight tomorrow night, but I don't load, and I called the customer, which I'm not supposed to do, and tried to get them to move it earlier in the day, and they won't. I don't load till 3 o'clock Monday afternoon.
Oh,
Oh
gee.
wow.
So
Oh, wow.
I'm sitting here at our friend's home in West Memphis, so I'm not a happy camper today, but that's all right. I'll get over it.
I'm sorry, honey.
I blew out my 70. I pulled in our yard here and I had an hour left on my 70. And I didn't
Oh
start
wow.
working until Monday. I was home last week. So I blew out my 70 in 6 days.
Wow.
You're pushing
Wow.
hard.
I usually do. I was in New Hampshire Monday and Tuesday, Massachusetts Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I got to Florida Wednesday afternoon after stopping in Stewart's Drive, Virginia, dropping a load, going to Chesapeake, Virginia. I picked up a load, took it to Ocala, dropped it. Went to Savannah, Georgia, picked up a load yesterday afternoon, dropped it this afternoon in right outside of Memphis in Mississippi, right across the line. So I'm kind of tired.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was laying down. I have no makeup on. I'm sorry.
Oh,
When
don't
you
worry about
texted
it.
me, I
You're fine.
was
Don't
sleeping.
worry about
I
it.
was sound asleep when it went beep, and I was like, "Oh, I got to do a show today."
It's all good. Don't worry.
You're
I've done
fine.
that many a times before. I woke up and I'd be like, oh, shoot, I have a show in 15 minutes. I'm like, I got to get ready. Oh, so one of the
Well,
things, Joanne, that I thought was really frustrating when I was trying to research like support or like good trekking companies that we could recommend was I didn't see a whole lot of like support when it comes to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender truck drivers. I saw a couple of good Facebook groups, but like all the articles and all the resources and links was like 2, 3, 4 years old. And so have you found that issue too?
yeah, where I'm at is pretty good about it. It's
Yeah.
like, don't ask, don't tell, I guess.
Yeah.
Most of the major carriers are cool with it. You just don't flaunt it, But
Yeah.
they worry about sexual harassment. That's the problem.
Yeah. And I think that's something that's so under talked about. And I think that was the thing. I figured that if I researched it, that I would find a lot of that. And there just wasn't. And I actually watched a podcast of one of the Facebook groups that's up, and they were talking about like the host asked them, he said, well, what are some great resources that you can recommend to our listeners? And they both said, our Facebook group, that's about it. And I was like, oh, that's so sad.
Right.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I ran across those Facebook groups too when I was trying to research. And it
Yeah.
looks like a lot of those look kind of old too, though.
Not the
Well,
Facebook groups.
me and my partner ran team. I taught her how to drive. We ran team for 18 years, something like that. We were together 21 years. And she rode with me for a while and she wanted to learn how to drive. So I taught her how to drive. And we ran team
That is so
for about
cool.
18 years.
That's
That is
awesome.
And
cool.
she passed away in 2013.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. But we were married about the last 7 years that we were together because they had just allowed same-sex couples to marry, so we got married. And but we ran team cross country, doing produce, We hauled hazardous materials, dynamite, that kind of stuff for the company for quite a few years.
Oh
I don't
wow.
want to mention the company, but we hauled a lot of government freight, that kind of stuff. Wasn't
Well-
FedEx. It was like hazardous stuff.
Wow.
Well, so I was gonna, when you guys were out there
And,
teaming together,
We
Um,
never really got any harassment. We got guys that would say something about two women in a truck together,
mhm,
but there was never really any harassment that I remember.
that's
We were
good.
going across US 30. We were going across, this story is funny. We were going across US 30 one morning about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm driving, and Gloria's sitting in the jump seat. And we're talking, and there's a train track that runs along US 30. We used to run US 30 instead of running the Ohio Turnpike, where you didn't have to pay the toll. And it was early. It was about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and there's a train track, and the train comes up, and it starts pacing us. And there's two engineers in it, and they're blowing the horn, and we started blowing the horn, and we're riding along, and we're laughing and stuff. And the train went off one way, and we went off another way where it curved. And I happened to look over, and I said to Gloria, "Look!" And the two guys moved us when they were going off around the corner where you couldn't see them anymore. It was so funny.
Oh my God.
But
that
I
is
guess they
funny.
got a kick out of two women in the truck.
That's funny.
Oh wow.
So I was sorry. I had a question that tipped my tongue, and now I can't remember it. You didn't have any harassments. That's good. But did you feel like there was a lot of other lesbian and gay transgender truckers out there? Did you feel like you had a lot of support when you were? No.
No,
Yeah.
no, not really. The company we worked for were great with us. They loved us because we ran hard. But
I
that's
think
just
that's
the way
important.
I was brought up, to run hard.
Yeah. I said that was one of the things when I was doing the research, and I was coming across like forums where people were asking, and they're like, well, what are some companies? And it seemed like it was the same 4 or 5 companies that they were recommending, but you really didn't hear anything more about it. Like I was wanting to find like, okay, Schneider was one of them actually that was made the top 5 consistently. And they were talking about, they're a pretty supportive company. But I was just shocked. I was like, I just figured we'd find more information. I was kind of bummed. I'm like, shoot. So then it kind of makes you feel deflated. Because I'm like, if I'm feeling like I don't think that the lesbian, gay, transgender community is being supported out there as truck drivers, I just wondered if that was something you'd ever felt along your journey as a trucker.
I mean, I don't know how it is for other women, but I've noticed since I've been back, because I was gone for 12 years from the industry, and guys used to make a fuss over a woman driving a truck. And anymore, you're like anybody else. They don't even hold the door open for you. Half
Yeah.
of them.
Do you
I
think
think
people look
that's
at you differently because they
a lot
know?
different than it was.
Yeah.
What was that, Lori? Go ahead.
Do you think
I don't
people
know.
look at you differently because they know?
You were breaking up. I couldn't understand.
Do you think people look at you differently if they know?
Oh, that she's a lesbian?
Yeah, I
Right.
think they do. I think they feel threatened. I
Mm.
really do.
Yeah, I never really thought of it that way, Joanne.
Right. I didn't either.
So Terry is still
I kind
backstage.
of do. I think
Go ahead, Joanne.
You guys are really breaking up. It's hard for me to understand. Should I sign out and try to get it back in?
Yeah, you can if you want. Because if you want to go back out and come back in, go ahead. I'll watch for you.
Let me try that.
Okay. Yeah, she keeps freezing on my end. Is she freezing on your guys' end?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
she is.
I'm remembering Terry because Terry's being really patient back here. So Terry, you were just telling me. I'm sorry. I like trying to get everybody in here, but you were just telling me a little bit about your company and that it's a really supportive trucking company.
Yeah, I am so blessed, as many of you know, with everything I've been through with my mom battle with cancer and having to be home and pick her up, and they've been just amazing through everything. But this is just one more example at how great they are. To my knowledge, we have 5 um, gay, lesbian, or transgender drivers, and our company is only 150 drivers. So that's a pretty good number for 150 drivers.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is a really, really good friend of mine, actually 2, one gay gentleman and a lesbian. And they are treated, the gentleman, I'm going to call him Chuck. I just didn't ask permission to say his name. He is a young guy, about 30. He said to me once, he said, SNS treats me like everybody else. And that's what I want. I don't want to be treated different. And he
Yeah.
is very
That's good.
obviously feminine. And he loves to say he's more of a woman than any woman he knows. So it's not like he can, he tries to hide it or whatnot. He's always said, they don't treat me any different. And I'm not any different. So why should they? Just because my partner is different. And and that really struck home to me. It's like, okay, a lot of people think this whole woman movement is we wanted to be treated special as women out here. Well, no, we don't. We just want to be treated like a driver.
Yeah.
When I started in 1987, opposite of what Joanne said about not even opening the door, I still experience that every day. But back then it was even more so, in person. On the CB, it was a little raunchy towards women, but in person, everybody fought to open the door for a woman because there wasn't hardly any of us out there. And I remember thinking, just, you don't have to treat me special. Just, I'm the same as you, just have different parts. I pee
Yeah.
sitting down. That's the only difference. And we all know, there's no difference here either. So just, I'm the same, just down below. But, and I never thought about that again, I don't think, until Chuck said that to me. He's like, I'm not different. And so many companies, when I would apply, just once they meet me, oh, wow, okay, well, what do you want from us? I don't want anything from you. I want a job. But that really struck home, and that just hammered home and reiterated to me what an amazing company I work for and how blessed I am that they're like that. That they don't treat him different. They don't say, well, can you run that hard? Or do you need to, none of that crap. He's just a driver. He's family, just like everybody else. And that's, our company doesn't say family, they do family.
That's
He gets
awesome.
he
I
gets a
like
birthday card and a Christmas card just like I do. It doesn't matter who he goes home to.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it should matter,
No, it shouldn't. And Angela, on my messages, every sentence I wrote to you printed out backwards. So I apologize.
That's fine.
If I put how are you today, it came out today, you are how. It's weird.
Okay,
But
that's
yeah,
fine.
if anybody needs a good job, anybody, because again, we're all the same. I'm SNS Transport out of Grand Forks. It's just unbelievable how blessed I am. But we've had an NFL player drive for us.
Oh,
We had,
wow.
we had a retired player, out of New York.
Nice.
We had it's so funny. I love to tell the
Oh.
story. They always tease me about telling the story, but my first day with this company, I got to a truck stop and I noticed one of our trucks with a big note on the door. This vehicle will be towed. And I called the company. I'd been driving with them for like 3 hours, mind you, literally. Here, the female driver had gone into the truck stop / bar and gotten into a fist fight and been arrested.
Oh,
And
wow.
she had 4 animals in her truck, 2 small dogs and 3 dogs and 1 cat. And the company paid somebody to come out and get her animals so they were safe. And they bailed her out of jail. And now, granted, she had to pay him back, but they didn't fire her for it. They helped her. They weren't going to leave her stranded in a strange city. That's a
Yeah,
company I want to work for.
absolutely.
That's a company that when they put you first, and they do every time, hands down, the driver comes first.
We got,
Wow.
and by the way, guys, Joanne did try to come in, but I think she's having connection issues, so I'm still keeping an eye out for her. But Dawn Stanton put up a really good comment. I just wanted to mention it. Which, by the way, guys, if you haven't had a chance yet, Dawn did some cooking tonight. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but if you go to a Trucker's View, you can see Dawn at home cooking, and I can't. That's my first thing I'm watching after the show, Dawn. So, but she said, I know a few LGBTQ that don't act or talk like that they are because they have worked so hard so that they can act like a normal person so that they're not harassed by fellow employees. And that's so
That is
incredibly
sad.
sad, but true. I
That
could
is
see
sad.
that.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Well, you
Yeah,
know,
it is.
when my daughter first came out and said, "Mom, this is who I am," I said, "Okay, that's fine." The only thing I was concerned about when she came out and told me was being beaten up.
Hmm.
That was the thing that worried me the most, was being beaten to a bloody pulp or something, because you've heard all those stories, you know?
Yeah.
Or bullied.
So honestly, that was the scariest part, when she said, "Hey, Mom, you know, I'm a lesbian, and I hope that's okay." I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's your sexuality. It doesn't matter what sex you are, you're still my daughter.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that it was still there. They did the pageants, they did all that kind of stuff, but it was still the fact that they could get beaten up and they would be left in an alley or something, bleeding to death. I'm like, wow, you know, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, the LGTB community has made such huge strides since the 70s. I mean, huge strides. Thank God. I mean, now people are allowed to marry who they want, love who they want, be who they want. It's the way this world should have been from eons ago. And it's like they've made
Right.
so much progress. And, you know, I think a lot of people's perceptions who maybe weren't supportive of it previous, you know, I think are more supportive. It just really disappointed me that when it comes to truckers, it just doesn't seem to be a good support platform where,
Right.
you know, you don't want them feeling not included in the trucking community and not having support, and being able to have that resources of what's a good trucking company that would hire me where I don't have to worry about being harassed or saying, yes, I'm a lesbian or yes, I'm gay. It's nobody's damn business, but this is who I am. And when I had a hard time finding that, I'm like, well, how many other truckers are having that same issue? So I think that
Right.
was the biggest thing that shocked me.
Well, I think just as women, we have to battle that. I saw an ad for a job quite a number of years ago, and I called, and the ad had gone in the paper at like an hour. The paper had just been delivered, and I said, "I'm calling about the job." "Well, tell your husband to call us." I'm like, "Well, it's for me." "Oh, I'm sorry, we filled a position." So I had my husband call 2 hours later. "Well, how soon can you get down here for an interview? We're desperate for a driver."
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, as women, we already face that little bit of hesitant to hire us because can we do the job? Can we crank the dollies? And it's in many more industries than ours. But then to
Right.
add that on top of it, like one of my coworkers, the female, is very obviously the man in her relationship, as she says, "I'm the top." You know, that's how she. um, she is built like a brick house, and she's like, "I couldn't hide the fact that I'm a dyke." This is her words, "for nothing." She's like, "But I'm not going to. I don't want to anyway." And I can only imagine we have a hard enough time being the straight female, you know, just being the woman. How when she walks into a job, how people might look at her. That's devastating. Instead of looking
Absolutely.
at her driving record, they're going to look at how she's dressed or if she has
Exactly.
a buzz haircut. You know, and in our society, we're so judgmental of looks and how people present themselves. Like Joanne said, I just woke up like 2 minutes before this thing went off, and I don't have makeup on, and I covered my hair. I look like crap. And there's going to be somebody that says, "Damn, why'd she go on video looking like shit?" Or crap, sorry. And that's just our society, is where looks mean so much. So when somebody that is obviously putting their gender choice or their sexuality on their sleeve. Can you imagine the battles I can't even imagine how hard that is for them. I can't even imagine. And it angers me that they have to deal with that. Do I want to be with a woman? No. Sorry, Andrew, you're beautiful, but I don't want to nail you. But that doesn't, that doesn't give me any right to judge Susie down the road who's in love with Jane. It's not my business. We need to support them as human beings and Americans and drivers, and that's it. That's we need to forget the rest. What they do behind their bedroom door is none of our business.
Right.
Doesn't affect their job or their work ethic.
Yep. If they can do the job, be hired. If they can't do their job as a driver, then they shouldn't be hired, regardless of what their sexuality is. It's irrelevant.
Absolutely. Joanne, we got you back. Can you hear us?
Yay, Joanne!
Oh, she's
I
frozen
think I'm
again.
opening 2 browsers. Hold on a minute. Let me see something here. I think. Can you hear me? How about now?
There
I'm
you
back.
go.
There you go.
We got you.
Could you be any cuter? I don't think so.
I'd like to ask you ladies
I
all of
restarted
your
my
questions.
phone. I restarted my phone and signed on to the Wi-Fi here. We got free Wi-Fi at our yards.
Oh, that's awesome.
Angela, I'd like to ask all the ladies a question. Have any of you out on the road or at anywhere had an experience where you've been in the ladies' restroom and a transgender person came in? And if so, or do you know somebody, has that been an issue? Has that touched or affected you, that situation at all?
No, and I've run into it out the truck stops. It never bothers me one way or another. Never has.
I haven't gone through that kind of situation yet, but even if I did, they're still a person, so I look at them differently,
Yeah.
That's our yard. That's our
so
yard.
just I feel that
very
if
cool.
they're in the bathroom and stuff, they have a right to be in there.
We've got a comment here from Cassandra. Hold on just a second. It says, as someone who's a part of the LGBT community, I'd like to take a moment just to acknowledge how far we have come as a community. And then Dawn Stanton had a comment. She said, I have family that are gays and lesbians, and I don't hate them. I know some of our family members disown them. I love my family, even though they love someone of the same sex. I love their wives and husbands just the same. Exactly. I think in this day and age, that's the most important thing. You just, I think people should feel supported and loved and be who they are, regardless of the situation. Nobody should ever be ashamed of who they are.
Right. Everybody has a choice to be loved,
My family, my father didn't, and my sister doesn't, but my mother and my 2 brothers have a problem with me being lesbian, and my partner's family is more my family than my own family, other than my 2 daughters. But my partner had 6 kids, and they're just like my kids.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, Joanne, when you told your family, how long ago was that?
Oh my God. I was like, I'm 65. I was probably 30.
So 35 years in the late 80s.
I went through 2 rough marriages.
Do you think
I
had
had
you not,
always
if they
thought
were,
that I liked women, I always felt like I liked women, and then I was with a girl for a couple of years when I was in my 30s, and I found out I do like women. Other women.
Joanne, do you think had you told them today, in today's day and age, they would have maybe reacted different as opposed to in the 80s when you did come out to them with the way the world looks at?
My mother wouldn't. I never got along with my mother. My mother didn't like anything I did. My father owned a trucking company. He had 150 trucks, and I was always in love with the trucks. I was always there, even as a little girl. I was there with the trucks, and my mother didn't think that was right. And I just never
Not
got
very
along with
ladylike. Okay.
it. When I started driving, we quit talking, and I started driving when I was 21. Actually, before
Oh,
that, but legally 21.
Wow.
Have any of you ladies seen the Hirschbach LGBTQT, sorry if I got it wrong, truck that's out there? It's got like an atlas of the country mapped out, and um,
yeah.
she is a driver. She is a driver that I know from being at the truck shows, and I remember the first time I met her in a truck show, the guys would go by and snicker and say really crappy comments, and with every passing truck show, they got a little less judgmental. They weren't so judgy, and they were a little nicer to her because they got to know her. And it boggles my brain that some grown ass man is going to take the time out to say, "Hey, dyke, what you doing? Like you don't have something
Right.
better to do? You're that ignorant? You know what?
Or,
Penis wasn't good enough." I've
or
heard that.
call them a it.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
just
can't
crazy.
stand that when I hear that.
Yeah.
That just burns me up like that's a human person. Don't
Yeah.
call them a it.
And now that I see at every truck show, it gets a little bit better, and I love, and I don't know much about Hirschbach, but the fact that they wrap that truck for her, and she flies her flag, the American flag, and then the gay pride flag. I mean, at the truck shows, her truck is all decked out. The fact that Hirschbach, does that for her says a lot. And I don't know much about the company in general at all, so I can't say yes or no whether it's a good company. But that one aspect sure tells me a lot when they go through all that for her. You know.
Yeah, I've seen that truck on the road. I saw it go.
Yep.
I passed her one day. That's how I saw it, and I
Oh,
I
wow.
slowed up because I was passing her,
Yep.
and I looked and I thought, wow, look at that truck, and I backed out of it and I got next to it and I really checked it out. She was waving to me
She's
and
a really
stuff.
cool.
It was really
Yeah,
great.
It's cool.
she's a cool chick too. She really is. If you ever get a chance to talk to her, and brain fog or COVID fog, whatever, I'm forgetting her name, but she's Shelly. Shelly, that's her name. If you ever get a chance to say hi, her name is Shelly, and she is really cool. She's really behind the movement, and she has such good information to put out there to help the gay and lesbian community in certain scenarios that they face out here in the trucking industry. I think she's been driving for like 10 or 12 years. Um, so not like super long, but I'll tell you, when I started in the 80s, I would have loved to have seen that truck in the 80s. That would have just boggled minds. That would have been so
Right.
funny to see. That would have,
Mhm.
but I do know that she wakes up to her truck being vandalized sometimes.
What?
And
Wow.
yeah, isn't that sick? And I'll tell you, if I may be as straight as an arrow, strictly dickly, however you want to say it, but you know what? I'm not going to sit by and let somebody do that to another human being. I don't care what the scenario. If I
Right.
saw
No.
that, I would stand up, as I know you would, Laura, you would, Angela, you would, Joanne. We were all with, but the fact
I
that it's been done is just pisses me off.
I worry about different things, and I don't know if it's just me, but I worry about somebody pulling my fifth wheel pin. I worry about somebody pulling my trailer, my
Yeah.
side on my tandems. And I do, before I start out every morning out of a truck stop, I check my fifth wheel. I check my
And we all should anyway, Joanne.
my.
That's a good habit to be
So,
into.
Joanne,
That's a good
usually
I
habit.
never used to do that.
Yeah.
Years ago, I wouldn't do that, but now you hear so much about people getting their fifth wheel pin pulled and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I check it every time. And
So,
even
Joanne,
when
do
I
you still get
I
scared for
stopped
being a lesbian?
just being a woman in general, being lesbian.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how they would know I was a lesbian. There's nothing on my truck or anything that said I'm a lesbian.
Right.
So it's
There's
something that
no
I
respect out
worry
there for
about.
truck drivers.
And like I fueled at
You're
New
right,
Albany,
Joanne.
Mississippi this morning, or this morning, I guess it was. And I pulled up after I fueled and I went in and got coffee and went to the bathroom. And I came back out and I check my fifth wheel and I check the slide on my tandems. It's just something that I never used to do years ago,
Right.
and I do every single time now. And I do a tug test before I pull out, even after I've checked, just to make
Well,
sure.
part of it is, Joanne, you started back way back in the day when I did, and that was like such a huge thing to do, you know, and nowadays a lot of these new drivers don't do it at all. So it's probably in the back of your head already to do the tug test and, you know, all that. A
Yeah,
lot of these new people don't.
boy, I do every time.
I do every time.
I
Yeah,
was
have
so
I have
afraid of
heard about
dropping a
that.
trailer on its nose or something.
Yeah,
I did
my
one
fifth wheel
time.
doesn't have a handle. My release, it's just a push button in the truck, and I still do it. So there's no way to release mine from
Yeah,
outside. You know, like
well,
normal.
mine's still a hand pull, but
Yeah,
it's easy to
but I still
pull,
do it.
except
It's
when it's
habit.
cold. When it's
Yeah,
real cold, it was 5 degrees up in -5 up in New Hampshire the other day, and I couldn't get the damn thing to release. I pull it and it
-5.
snapped
That's
right back
nice.
in. Huh?
I wish it was that warm here. It's like -30 here. I'll trade you.
And I pulled it and it snapped back in, and I pulled the pin again. It snapped back in.
Yeah,
So I pulled it and I finally got it to stay. And I opened the door of the truck and I heard it go
cool.
snap right back in again. I had a heck
So
of a time with it.
we have a couple other questions that we had for you. What is the most difficult situation that you've encountered in the industry with being in the LGBT community?
That's a hard one. I probably being with my partner because we would walk together all the time, and we were real touchy kind of feely people, and we would be sitting in the truck not thinking anybody was looking, and we would kiss or something like that, and I mean you'd get some real looks, and I've had a couple people say something about it.
Oh wow,
We
that's
we
not
had
great.
We were a real touchy feely kind of couple, though. We were, you know, that's just the way we were. We never did it customers and stuff, but when we were in the truck, you just don't think people are sitting there watching you, but apparently they are.
Right.
we got a comment from one of our viewers, Cassandra Jackson, and she says, "Oh, hey, excuse me, sorry." And she says, "Do you all respect people's gender identities and pronouns?" So I'll answer for me. First of all, I respect everybody and everyone, but I'll be honest, I am a little confused on the pronouns and the gender identities. I'm honestly trying to learn that. I should know this as the mother of a lesbian, but it is a little confusing to me, and it's something that I do need to educate myself on because first of all, I respect everybody's choices or opinions, who they want to be with. I don't care. I'll be honest with you. I knew my daughter was a lesbian at the age of 5, and I dealt with it. It didn't bother me. So when she came out to me at the age of 17, I think it was a relief to her because I'd already known. So, but yeah, I honestly think it's something that I personally need to educate myself on, but I didn't know what your guys' opinions were on that.
So do I. When I was home last weekend, my one granddaughter was over and she said, "Grandma, I'm a pansexual." I said, "What is a pansexual?" And I still haven't had time to look it up and think about it, really. I just thought about it just now. She said that to me.
Yeah.
I don't know all the nouns and pronouns. My daughter now identifies herself as a what was the name?
Pansexual.
No, it was something else.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember, but I'm still learning on that too. And like Ann says, as a mom, I should know this. So I'm still trying to figure it all out.
Well,
I think we all need to figure it out.
yeah, and I think that's the good thing because just like being in the trucking industry, you know, once you think that you've learned everything, you should stop being a trucker. this should be an open discussion that we should discuss and people should be able to fully talk about. So, I mean, I have, yeah, Cassandra said that she could help. I would love it. So yes, Cassandra, please get a
yes,
hold of me. Because I do
I would
feel
love
very
it.
uneducated about it. And I do feel, I mean, I see the TikTok videos and I see the shows and the news stories and stuff. And it's just hard for me, I guess, to wrap my head around or try to, and I don't want to like ever hurt somebody's feelings or be insensitive. So I do need to educate myself.
And I do too, Angela. I don't even know what the Q means. I really don't.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All
I
I
mean,
know
to
is they're
me,
people. They're people, and that's all I care about. They're human beings that deserves to be
right.
treated like every straight, you know, to me, I'm ignorant when it comes to that. I just love them and hug them and treat them like people. I don't know what the terms and the letters and the initials. And, I recently heard a driver complaining in a truck stop. I was standing in line at a restaurant. Why do they have to advertise? Why do all that lesbians and gays have to advertise? I don't advertise that I'm straight. I don't put on my truck straight man. Why do they have to put on their truck, proud lesbian or, and I just stayed out of the conversation because I didn't feel like going to jail that day. I probably couldn't afford the bail. But, I hear that quite frequently. Joanne, do you have why, how do I say this without sounding like really nasty? Why, I can't even ask. I don't even know how to say that. I'm going to sound like a meanie.
I don't have anything on my truck. I don't advertise. Well, you guys know because I told you, but I don't make it a point to advertise that I'm a lesbian. But ever since my partner died, I'm kind of happy being single. And just, I mean, I would
See,
love another partner, but if it
I
doesn't
don't think
happen, it doesn't happen.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a gay, lesbian, transvestite, or whatever. If they want to advertise because they're proud of who they are, then let them advertise it.
Right. No,
It
and
doesn't.
I agree, Lori. I agree 100%. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I remembered that man was like saying that in the
Right.
truck stop, and it just got me thinking. I never, really thought about that. And I'm like, Terry, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. You're too poor for bail. Keep your mouth shut because I know certain things will get me to snap, and that's one of them. You don't disrespect somebody just because I may not
I
agree with
think
it. Doesn't mean
I
that.
think some of these people are ignorant. That's what I think.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know,
And
Or you're
they
you're
can't
correct.
get on the
There's
ball game of there's other people out there that have sexual orientation, sexual genders, and all that. So I really do think people are ignorant. There's nothing wrong with who they are as a person.
No,
If
it doesn't
if
change who
that's
they
what
are.
they like, then so be it. Let them
Who
be in
they
love. Let them have
who they
that.
sleep with doesn't, or who they fall in love with. None of that changes
No,
who they are as a person. And
exactly.
that's what I think society looks at them different. You know, you've got to be, something's wrong with you. You're broken. What? I'm fat. Does that mean I'm broken? Okay, I may be mentally broken, but whatever. It's no different than saying I'm broken because I'm a blonde or a brunette or, a redhead on any given. That's absolutely ludicrous to even come out of your mouth.
oh, I've
Just 'cause
heard
different is not broken. Different is not wrong. And that's what
right.
society needs to understand. Different is not bad. No
No,
matter what
what
the difference.
my
I've
opinion
heard
is,
stories from my daughter, and they're horrific stories about some of what these people go through. And I don't want to say people, but what they honestly go through.
Yeah.
Um, there's there's been families out there when they come out the closet and they say, "Hey, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, or I'm this, I'm that." They'll actually like force them to change their mind.
Send them to camp. That's what I've heard they do
Right.
to kids. Send them to
Or they
a
try to get them
religious.
extra. What is it? They go to Catholic church and
Yeah.
really, I don't know.
It's who they are,
Just
and
wrong.
let them be who they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I were
Monte,
lesbians.
life's too short not to be happy.
this guy
Yep.
I don't like to be around him at all. And I don't know, he just irks me. And he was at one of my husband's terminals because he works for the company. And this transgender came through. He was in school there to be, in class to start working. And I guess you can see his Adam's apple and all. Well, he went to the women's bathroom and he just turns himself around and looks at him like, well, you're going into the wrong bathroom. And just kept on and on and on about it. Until that person just turned around and said, do I need to show you my driver's license that I'm a female? And he's one of the persons that will call them it. That's all he will ever say. He has called me fat. And I won't talk to him. And that was just so wrong because he told that story to my husband. And Chris told me about it. And I was like, how can you be friends with somebody like that?
And he probably told him because he's proud of being that ignorant. He was proud.
Yeah. And it was just pure stupid because my blood was boiling because I was like, you had no right to question that person going into that bathroom. You had no right whatsoever to stand there and keep arguing with that person.
And that's such a huge debate in our country right now. You hear people say, well, if he had his penis cut off, then he can go in the women's restroom. If not, then he doesn't belong there. And you hear all different sides. I'm like, if you have a child with you and you don't want that child in the bathroom with a cross-dresser or a transvestite, then wait. Just simply wait. Shut your mouth and wait. Mind your business and just stand outside and wait.
People act like they have some kind of disease, like leprosy or something.
Yeah.
I mean, if you touch them, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
It don't work that way.
Hey,
I'm
Joanne.
sorry.
No, it doesn't.
Joanne, do you remember? Now you started driving. I started in the 80s, and you've been out here that long as well, from what I understand.
started
right?
in 79. I
No.
started, well, I
Mad
started
respect.
before that. I started before that, but I wasn't legal to drive.
Mad respect.
We hauled cement, and I drove to the cement plant and loaded trucks and brought them back to the yard.
Do you remember, by the way, thank you for starting women in this industry for us. And I know I've been out here 35
Thank
years,
you, too.
but the women to you, like you, who started, it actually will tear me up because the hell that we went through, these younger girls don't have to go through because you and I, well, you more than me by far. And we're not in the same category. You're way beyond me. So thank you for that. But do you remember truck stops that didn't have women's bathrooms back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And people think
I was
I'm
telling a
lying.
girl the other day at Carlisle, I was at our yard in Carlisle on Monday when I started out. I came from home. No, it was Sunday afternoon because I got to my truck Sunday afternoon and I slept in the truck because I live 3 hours away. And I wanted to be fresh in the morning. And we were sitting in the cafe area, and we were sitting there talking, and she was new. She'd only been driving a couple weeks, and I was talking to her, and I said, I can remember when truck stops didn't have women's bathrooms, and they didn't have women's showers, and you used to have to try to talk men into watching the door for you so you could run in and go to the bathroom or run in and take a shower.
Wow. Well, and to this day, so many people don't believe that when I say that. I'm like, there was no women's restrooms in truck stops, in some of them. But not only that, it's like today, I'll go into a men's room in a heartbeat. If I got to pee bad enough and there's a woman in there taking her time, I'll go right into the men's. But I think that's why, because I had to do it. It was either that or go straight to dirt.
I've gone into the men's bathroom before.
It's either that or straight to dirt. What are you going to do? So
you gotta go.
Absolutely, Sheila. Yep.
I'm not embarrassed.
Nope. And Paul, like, he's like, did you just come from the left? Where the men? I'm like, He's like, uh-huh. So we've been doing it. We've been doing it for how many years?
Where the women's restroom was, full, and my
Yeah.
husband's like, "Go to the men's. I will stand
Yep,
outside the
yeah.
guard
Oh, and
door."
Paul will too. Yep.
Yep.
But we've been doing that for years. So what's the big
Yeah.
deal now? If you don't like it, wait your turn. That was the whole point of that. Was we've been out there going, interchanging restrooms out on the road because we had
Oh,
to.
yeah,
So what's the
we had to.
difference?
But there was always, early on, there was always guys that were willing to watch the door while you
Oh,
went in and took a
absolutely.
shower real
Yep.
quick or whatever.
Yep.
Hi, Kay.
Joanne, what advice would you give a new driver who is entering the industry part of the community?
Just be yourself.
That's perfect.
And
Don't worry about
And-
being judged.
I don't worry about it. I mean, the company I work for, like some of the stuff that I think it was Kathy was saying about what that guy said, you get
Mhm.
caught doing it where I work and you're done.
Yeah,
You're
mine
out
too.
the door. I mean, they have a no tolerance
Yep.
harassment policy. It's not just sexual harassment, it's an harassment policy.
Yep.
Oh,
And
he
they
was
beat it in your
warned.
head constantly. They beat it into your head
He
constantly.
needs his butt whooped, Kathy, not being warned. We all need to get together
He,
and just beat the crap out of him. We're all
right?
up and just beat the dickens out of him.
That's how I feel. That he should have been let go right there, right then, and everything. But they warned him and said, "Look, if that person sues you, you're out the door."
Good. Yeah. I hope he
Yeah,
did.
they don't put
But
up
I
with it
guess
at all.
that person just let it go and went on back to class. And
Yeah, with
now
you,
that wouldn't
Joanne.
have been me. I'd have been like, let me go talk to my lawyer.
Yeah. Like you said, Joanne, with my company, if anybody brings up a race, sex, anything, I mean, they're pro women driving, they're pro African American, pro Spanish, they don't care.
Yeah.
Driver. It's the same thing. There's zero tolerance. Like you say one word, and you're gone.
Absolutely. So I wanted
I was thinking about
here.
I got one more thing. I was thinking about women driving trucks today and lesbian women and stuff. And there was a truck that passed me and I was thinking about doing a show tonight when I saw it. And it said on there, women owned, American Indian women owned trucking company.
Navajo.
Not going to say the name of the trucking
okay.
company because I'm going to look up and see about working for them.
There you go.
But
I'd love to see
that really impressed me, and very nice truck. Very nice truck.
Nice.
So I wanted to come on here because we got a few comments that I wanted to address real quick. Dawn Stanton put up a comment. She said, "Don't be afraid of who you are and stand up tall and smile and be proud of who you are."
Amen.
And
Right.
then Cassandra Jackson actually had two comments. She said, "A lot of people also don't know how hard it is for trans men and women to get the surgery. For most people, they lose all sensation in the reconstructed genitalia. And I hate when people have the audacity to question anyone about what they are doing it for." And that's the thing. I think a lot of people that don't understand is that, insurance doesn't cover the surgery. So anything that they're going to want to do is out of pocket. So it's not like it's just an easy thing of, oh, well, I want to go have surgery and I want to become female or I want to become male. Insurances don't cover that. So that's something they have to pay out of their own pocket. And so, yeah, I think people definitely need to have more compassion where that's concerned. And furthermore, whose choices? I mean, it's not our ability to question, I don't think. And here's the last one. She said, and then let's see. And she said, another thing is a lot of trans men and women don't limit themselves to the genitalia. They don't believe that's what defines who they are or what they feel like at the end of the day. After all, gender and sex are two completely different things.
Very true.
So, well, I think it's a good discussion. I think that it's a discussion we this is a show that Lori and I have been wanting to do for a long time. but it was like just trying to get enough information and people that we could talk to, because like I said, we have a different viewpoint than like Joanne, you know, because, and so it was just, I'm glad we finally did the show. I just wish that there was more out there as far as support. I think that was really
Right.
sad, kind of lacking.
Yes, definitely. There is no support, really.
No, and it's so sad. And when we talk about, you know, the women's trucking movement and how much strength it's gained over the last few years and how many new female truckers we have coming out here, it's like, I was really shocked. I'm like, well, it's great that we have a movement for the women truckers, but what about the underrepresented lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual truckers who are out there, that especially the newer ones who are wanting to come into the industry and trying to have like some type of map or navigation of where to go to for support and good trucking companies that are going to support their choices and decisions. And when I couldn't find that for myself, I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, it's not out there.
No, it's not.
Well, Joanne, I appreciate you being on the show, sweetie. We always love having you on here, and you know you're welcome back here anytime. You're always a
I know.
champion
I
of
want to get back.
knowledge.
I want to get back in the trucker safety divas, but right now I'm in a transition of sorts. The end of this month, I'm starting a new adventure with the same company. I'm going to be hauling a flatbed.
Oh, wow.
Whoa, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's a
I'm
good one right
limited to
there.
the number of states I can run with the account. I work over the road. And I'm going to the Pods account, Pods containers. I don't know if you ever saw them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's a 48 state account. And I'm going to do Pods starting the 26th of this month.
Oh, nice. That's
Cool.
cool.
Wow.
Joanne,
Congratulations, honey.
I want to say, Joanne, thank you for starting and being there in the beginning for women in this industry and representing us in such a beautiful way like you've done, and thank you for your strength and what you bring to this this movement with women and just trucking in general for us. You paved the way for us ladies to come in after you, and thank you for everything you've done for us.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, too.
I know we got.
We love you,
Thank you all.
darling.
Thank you all for being there for
You're a
the
hero,
truckers.
Joanne. You're a mentor and a hero.
Welcome.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to my new adventure. I've never, other than doing, not even tankers, you pull the same. They assign you a trailer and a truck with this new account, and it's your trailer. You don't ever disconnect from it except put grease on the fifth wheel, I guess.
Oh, wow.
But that's going to be something neat to know exactly you're not picking up a trailer somewhere that
You'll
it's
have
got
to
a
keep us
blown tire
updated,
on it,
Joanne.
or the lights don't work, or
Yeah.
You'll have to keep us updated on how your new adventure is going, and
Yeah.
you definitely are a hero. Definitely our hero.
Thank you.
And Joanne, you know you are welcome on here anytime. We ever have a topic that interests you and you're free and you want to be on the show, just let me know. We love having you.
All right, thank you.
Bye,
We
Joanne.
love you, honey.
Enjoy
Enjoy
your
your
34.
48.
Thank you for coming on.
Love you.
Bye,
No problem. Bye bye.
Enjoy your 48. What an amazing woman.
So I was going to say something that if you really want to see personalities of a lesbian, gay, transvestite, transgender, whatever, go to the parades. You will see their personalities. Their personalities are so big and bold and out there. They're amazing people, and they're
It's
some of the
caring.
kindest, gentlest people I could ever meet.
They're also the most non-judgment. I'm sorry, Angela.
Right.
I have a friend
No,
of mine
you're
in
right.
Minneapolis, and when I go there, she always brings me to a gay bar. She's bi. She's like she's at my wedding, my best friend. And I'll tell you what, you go to a gay bar. I'm an old fat woman that loves to dance, right? I love to dance, hip hop, you name it. Well, all this fat moves. Not a pretty sight. I go to a straight bar And the men and women are really like, oh my God, what is she doing out there? You go to a gay bar, they
Right.
don't care because they know what
They
it's
don't
like
care.
to be discriminated against. So they don't care. They treat you the same. And that says so much about the community. And I apologize for cutting you off, Anne,
Oh no,
but
you're fine.
it's
I was
spot
just
on to
gonna
what you said.
I was just gonna recommend for anybody who does have a child like Lori and I, who are lesbian, gay, transgender. There's another great organization that I belong. I think I joined. Gosh, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago, but it's called PFLAG. It's PFLAG. And it's parents and family members of lesbian, gay, transgender, and bisexual. But it's a really good organization. They also have lots of resources there, lots of links, lots of information. They have meetings in some cities. So that's another great resource also, especially if maybe you're on the fence and don't know how to handle things. So that's also a really good resource.
But do me a favor. If your
That's right,
child
Dawn.
comes out and says, "Hey, mom, dad, I'm gay or I'm lesbian or I'm this," don't bash them. Don't
No,
put them down. Don't do
Take
any of
some
that
time to
because they're
think.
still your child.
And take some time to think about it. Walk away and you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's the thing that was the hardest for me when my daughter finally did have the courage, because it does take courage to come out and say, "Hey, this
Oh
is
yeah.
who I am," because you're so afraid of being judged. And like I wouldn't even allow her to get the words out of her mouth. She's just like, she came to me and she's like, "Mom," she's like, "I got something that I need to tell you." And I just stopped her and I said, "I already know." And she goes, "What do you mean you already know?" And so I told her, I said, "Yeah, I've known since you were 5." And she's like, looked at me in shock. She's like, "You're not mad? You're not going to disown me?" It's like, the way I look at it, that she was born that way. Who am I to judge? And I don't
Yeah.
care. I love her regardless. And I would never change her for $1 million. She is who she is. And I'm
That's
We have
proud of
no
her
right
exactly
to
what my
to
judge.
have
daughter said.
them.
God is the only one that can judge. We don't have any right to judge anybody for anybody, anything. There are
Yeah.
Christians that think
But that's
being gay is a
exactly
sin,
And
what
God don't
and
Rachel
it's
like
not.
said
ugly.
when
Yeah, there are Christians that believe being gay is a sin, according to the Bible, and they get real rude and judgy about it. Well, the Bible also says you're not to judge anybody. That's not your job. So you're a hypocrite. Just
Yeah.
because you don't agree with it doesn't mean that you have a right to judge them. And if you really believe it's a sin, every sin is equal in God's eyes. So your sins are in just as bad. Not that I'm saying it's bad, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's super sad. And as straight people, we need to stand up and fight for them and with them for the equal rights and to be treated just as they are. They're a human. It doesn't matter who they bed down, who they love. None of that is relevant. And as a straight society, we need to care more about our fellow humans and
Yeah.
not when we see abuse done, when we see a man wearing a dress and I've done it, walking across the parking lot in stiletto heels and like his cojones are almost hanging out. The dress is so short. You know what? If he feels beautiful, good for him.
hey,
Absolutely.
Somebody gets on the radio and starts bashing him, and my big mouth will get right back on the radio. Look in the mirror because you're no better. You think he's doing wrong. Look at you. We need to stand up and fight for people we care about, whether we know them or not. Fight what's
I
right.
think
Fight for what's
I
right.
think that was the hardest part when my daughter did finally start feeling comfortable and being comfortable with her decision, is when we would go out in public and she would be with her girlfriend, the looks and stares and comments that
Yeah,
people would make. And as a mother bear, I wanted to attack and kill everybody. And
yeah,
it's like,
yeah. I
it's so
bet.
yep,
hard because you're not going to
Right.
change other people's opinions. And I know for a fact that I have friends of mine that are totally anti-gay. And
Yeah,
I always just tell people, I don't want to hear it. And you don't need, do what you want, but you're not changing my opinion. I'm proud of my daughter. I'm proud of my soon to be daughter-in-law. And you're never going to change my opinion. So,
I was bashed for. I perform weddings, and when I did my first gay wedding, I have an aunt and uncle who completely disowned me because I performed my first gay wedding. They
oh,
to this
Lord.
day have never spoken to me since. I'm like, well, goodbye. I don't need you if that's the way. They're the hypocritical Christian ones. Have
well,
never
Mm,
that was
spoken
like
to me since. But
my
it's like,
daughter wanted to go to prom. I'm like, okay, go to prom. She's
yeah.
got, but I don't want to dress, mom. I'm like, okay, that's fine too. So I got her a nice purple suit,
Me
went
too.
with her date,
Yep.
and before she went, she started getting really nervous. I says, "What are you nervous about?" She's like, "I don't want people to judge because I'm going with a woman." I says, "You know
Let
what?
them, let them
No.
judge.
You go and you have fun and you have a good time with it. Don't worry about what they think. If they don't like it, then they can just, you know what?"
Turn the other way. Look the other way. It's like when
Exactly.
it reminds me of the same thing that interracial couples face out here,
Oh
especially in
yeah,
truck. You
yeah.
know, they're looked at like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Did you see them? Oh, look at what they're
Mhm.
doing. Oh my gosh, they're touching. It's like, really, are you for? It's like, mind your own business.
Right.
Stay out of their life. Stay out of their bedroom. Stay out of their love life. Whether you would like it or not. If you don't like it, you know what? Turn around and walk away and don't look. It's that
Right.
simple.
Well, you were talking about the prom, and my daughter was the same thing. I wound up getting her a suit as well because I wanted her to be comfortable because my daughter, she would not be comfortable to dress, so I got her. But Larry just came out and he reminded me that when we actually got married and we were trying to come up with who we want, on whose side, whether, I gave my daughter the choice because obviously I wanted her to be part of the wedding, and she wound up being on the groomsman's side, and she
Oh,
wore a
that's
suit.
cool.
And I let her,
Aw.
in my pictures, you'll see it. And I couldn't have been happier. She was beautiful. She was happy. And her, so it's just silly. I fully embrace I'm like, you have no idea. I have been waiting for her to get married to this girl 7 years now. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you. That's going to be awesome.
It
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
is.
you and Lori, Angela and Lori, hats off to you guys because unfortunately, so many don't have that support from their moms and dads. And hats off to you guys for doing the right thing and realizing that they're still your child and loving them just the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
I
You
sit and
need
watch
to be a
them
role
fall
model.
together.
Yeah, you guys are role models for parents. You really truly are to do the right thing by your kids.
Thank you. And Don said that you can't stop the heart from who it loves.
No,
That is so
Right.
true. So true.
and that's in straight people too. I love a hillbilly. Never did I think that would
Right?
happen. So it goes that's across
And
the board.
sometimes opposites attract anyway, you know?
Oh,
Yep.
heck yes. Oh, heck yes.
So
So,
thank you to you ladies.
so we want to remind you guys, Kathy, I'm going to put you on the spot. So we want to remind everybody. I'm gonna put Sheila on the
Now,
spot.
woo!
I'm gonna put Sheila on the spot too. So I want to remind everybody. I'm gonna let Sheila and Kathy talk a little bit. Just tell everybody a little bit about our Wednesday afternoon show that we got going on. It's just kind of a fun show, and every week there's gonna be different people. But I'll let Kathy and Sheila tell you guys a little bit about what's gonna be going on this week.
On Wednesdays, it's called Casual Talk, and it's 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. It's every Wednesday. You will see me, and you will see my beautiful, where's she at? On this side somewhere? My beautiful host, Miss Sheila Long. Um, I'm sorry about this last Wednesday. I don't know what was going on with my Wi-Fi. This Wi-Fi has even messed up
Hey,
my messenger.
I managed.
She
Yes,
did
she
manage.
That
She
answers
did
two
did.
really
She
good.
did
Sheila, you're a
awesome.
rock
I'm
star.
so proud of her. I
Our
was sending Texas to
conversations
her.
on Wednesday can be about anything. Gone from
Exactly.
from this extreme
And
to this extreme.
we're going to be promoting all the shows, what's going to be coming up on Fridays, what's going to be coming up on Saturdays. We're going to be promoting everybody's pages, everybody's TikTok pages. This Wednesday, we are going to be talking about how we met our other half.
Woohoo! I like
There
that.
you
So,
go.
and
I like
so
that.
if anybody wants to come and join, let us know. Miss Angie does have to show me how to put the link out there for our guests to come on. I'm still new at this restream. But, if I can't make it, Miss Sheeta's going to be there, take it, doing it, and whoever else joins in, vice versa. But, we try to keep it like I said, casual talk. There's not going to be a topic, so whatever we want to talk about that day, that's what we'll talk about.
And it's a good way for all the divas to kind of get to know each other and interact in a much more casual environment where we're not having to have crazy topics and it's just general chit chat. So I did want to mention Dawn Stanton. She said, first of all, Kathy, Dawn Stanton said she'd love to be on the Wednesday show with you. So that's somebody to keep in mind. But she also said, I want to thank Angie and Larry for all you're doing. I love y'all.
Aw.
And
Yes,
Terry,
me
thank
and,
you for being on the show. We always love having you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I'm under the weather and freezing
No,
and what's
you're fine,
included, but
honey. Don't worry about that.
Kathy, I would
you're
love
fine.
to join you on,
Get back.
and Kathy, I would love to join you on Wednesday.
Anytime you can come in on
We'd love
Wednesday.
to have
Don can come. Actually, me and Don's been talking on the phone off and on for a couple of days now. Matter of fact, she's
met-
not talking to me; she's talking to my husband.
I met my
She's
husband by almost going to jail, so it was a heck of a fun story. I literally almost went to jail because of him.
You got to come on and talk about that story.
So yeah, tag me, message me. But thank you guys so much. I'm gonna get back to bed because I am still really fighting this bitch of a COVID. Just doesn't want to let go of me. It's my stalker
Well,
now.
please get better fast, honey.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm hoping to get back on the truck next week. So I'm trying to sleep as much as I can. But thank you,
Right.
ladies, for everything. And
We love
I just
you.
love you too. And I admire all of you for what you do and keep up the good work. And Lori, you bust your ass for us out here, for us, Peabody's
Thank
out
you,
here.
Terry.
Thank you for that. Kathy and Sheila, it was a pleasure meeting you. And if you want to get my info from Ange, Kathy, let me know and just message me about Wednesday. I'm obviously not busy here. See, just in bed. So,
I'm not busy.
I'm bored. I'm bored, and I would love something to do.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm on the truck with my husband. I came out I think it was the second week of January, and then I came back out here in February. He's trying to talk me into staying out here for a year.
That's a commitment.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I told him let's go month to month. We'll see.
Do a month-to-month
Day
lease.
basis.
Yeah, do a month-to-month lease with him.
there you go.
Well, I'm gonna
All right,
hit the button so you guys can chat. But thank you again for having me. It was always fun to be a part of you guys' get-togethers here.
Thank you so much, Terry.
Stay beautiful,
Bye,
ladies.
sweetheart.
Bye, guys.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye bye. Thank you, Miss Dawn. Needham. I know I'm not pronouncing her name right.
We don't hear you, Ange.
Oh, that would
And
happen if I
there
unmuted
you
my
go.
microphone. There we go. Oh, God. All night I've been like in the background because, it looked better just having you five up there. So I was in the background. I keep forgetting to unmute my microphone. Okay.
Well, this is scary.
And
Big Mike says he wants to be a show.
yeah, well, we actually, Big Mike, maybe we can do that because Lori and I were talking about something kind of similar to that earlier. So we'll have to discuss that. And Dawn Stanton said, y'all, dinner turned out great. I can't wait to watch your video, Dawn. I'm going to watch it next.
That's good, Dawn. I gotta watch it too.
Yes. Well, thank you, ladies, for helping me out tonight. It was a fun show. Is there anything I am forgetting to mention before we get ready to close out the show that you could think of?
No, we had some history of LGBTQ
Oh, yeah.
community, but we can do that. I can put it on there later.
Okay. Yeah, I totally forgot we were going to do a little trivia history, and then the show just
Don't
kind of
worry
ran.
about it.
Yeah. There was next week's show, we're going to be talking about, hold on a second, the future of trucking. So we're going to be talking about the new trucking, electric trucks that are coming out there and the autonomous trucking, and kind of talking about where we think trucking is going to be going in the future, because I know that's a huge topic, and I know it worries a lot of truck drivers out there on whether or not we're going to have a job in 10 years, because we're already seeing them out there. I've
Right,
seen
yep.
people doing TikToks of them driving through the fuel island. So
We've seen them out there too already, yeah.
Right. I haven't seen none yet, so
They're pretty nifty looking, but it's kind of scary because the more they're coming out with this stuff, the more truck drivers are worried about their job, their career.
Exactly. And Dawn, no, I have not figured out why you cannot get on your main page. I'm still working on that. I'm actually going to see if I can get Lori to help me out. Maybe between the two of us, we can figure it out. I don't know, because everything on my end is showing you should be able to. So, but we are working on it.
maybe we have to, like you did with me, make her own page. You make her page.
Well, she has a page set up. She's just not able to stream onto a Trucker's View, and I've given her permission, so I'm not quite sure why. So I got to figure that out. But we'll get it figured out. I'm gonna work on that while I watch her video. I'll do two things at once. Multitasking.
Is there anything else that we need
Sometimes you got
to bring up except the norm? Make sure that you like, follow, and share Rolling with the Underwoods. You like, follow, and share Married to the Road. Like, follow, and share Chasing the Mile or Chasing
Miles with the Clarks.
Thank you. They got two of them, so I'm about goofed up.
Yes.
And then make sure you follow our Wednesday show, our Friday, and our Saturday show.
And we got a new streamer, the Cutler's
Trucker's
View. The Cutler's
Yeah.
View, and the other lady. What? I don't know
Victoria
her page.
Bevins.
Yep.
Victoria, yeah.
I need to get her page written down. That way I can promote her as well.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. But so yeah, you guys can see us all live streaming on a Trucker's View. Larry and I are planning 100%, unless like some emergency happens. We're planning on being out on the road later on next week. We'll probably leave Wednesday-ish to go get our new trailer and get our new trailer loaded, and then probably pick up a load Thursday or Friday. So we will be back live streaming over the road this week. I think we've had enough downtime, and I'm going stir crazy. And Larry's finally starting to feel better. So it's time to get out there and make some money.
And we are actually
Just make sure you don't have brain fog.
It got brought here today to us from another Heartland driver. We actually have a FedEx trailer.
Oh wow!
And I was like, "What? Wait a minute. When did y'all start pulling FedEx trailers?" But we are going to be taking it. So we're going to be taking it and dropping it off, I believe, at the FedEx place. I can't remember where. Columbus. And all.
Yep.
So we're going to be taking it and dropping it off there, and all. So it's empty. So, and I was like, cool. I get to be in the up front while we're pulling up FedEx trailer. Awesome.
That's the bad thing about our new trailer that we're getting. It doesn't say FedEx on it. I'm like, I hate that. It's a trailer that they purchased from a company. I think it's called Star Leasing. So it says Star Leasing on the side of our trailers. They're like, we'll eventually get the logo on there. I'm like, but I'm proud of who I work for. That's what I want my trailer to say. So I just have to be patient, which is not a good suit. Oh well. All right, guys, thank you so much for hosting the show. Thank you, everybody, for the comments and being patient with us. We'll have a show next Saturday. We're talking about the future of trucking. And you know what? I just thought of something. I don't know what the guys' show on. Do you know what it is off the top of your head, Lori? Otherwise, I'll look.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Down.
Oh, Kathy's got it for us. Thank you, Kathy.
She's my secretary.
What is it gonna? Okay, proper pre-trips. Is that the February 12th?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Proper pre-trips.
Proper pre-trips.
The boys better do their studying. Oh.
Yeah, James.
Yeah.
So before we go, I just want to do like a funny. Do you watch RuPaul?
I have seen RuPaul, but I've never watched the show.
Oh my gosh, I love watching RuPaul. They're so darn funny on there.
My youngest
I'm
son
even in
watches them. Watches
on
him.
Facebook.
I would just like to have some makeup lessons by some of them that do the
Right?
drag shows. But not joking. I can't tell you how many times I've gone out in public and seen somebody who may be transgender, or maybe they actually just do, and they're beautiful. I mean, absolutely drop dead gorgeous people. I'm like, can you please give me some makeup tips?
And some of their
Jeez.
outfits. Oh my god.
Yes, I'm so. I wish I could be
I
that
would
much of a
love
diva.
to have any of their information.
Please, yeah, seriously.
Right?
Yeah. Oh gosh. All right,
But
guys, we're gonna go. Go ahead.
I think that's the thing though between their community and us is because they're more bold.
Yes.
They're more, you know what? This is who I am. If you don't like me, whatever.
And I think we all need just a little bit more of that in our lives.
I think so too.
The older I'm
Yeah.
getting, the more I find myself the same way. I'm like, yeah, it's like when you look in the mirror and you see the wrinkles and you see that you're aging. I just look at it and it's like sometimes it gets me depressed, but I would say 90% of the time I'm just like, you know what? These are my war scars. This is who I am. I don't care
I
if you
got
don't like
no,
it.
I'm getting in there too. No there.
I don't, I am who I am. Take me or leave me. I really don't care because the older I get, I just don't want a drama-filled life where I have to stress over piddly little things like what I look like or what people think about me. I need just a little bit more of what they have. If they could give it to me like in pill form, that would be great.
Right? Fountain of youth, honey. Fountain of youth.
Yeah.
Could you knock like 15 years off? I don't think I'm asking too much.
Right? So I guess what I'm going to leave y'all with tonight is don't be afraid to be who you are. Be bold. Be out there. Be blunt. Be the person you were made to be.
Absolutely.
Stop hiding behind a shadow and letting people judge you and letting people dictate how you have to look. I say the hell with all that.
Or who you love or who you want to be with, because who are we to judge?
Exactly.
So
How who your friends are. Don't let people dictate.
Be proud of who you are, proud of the decisions and choices that you make, and don't let anybody ever tear you down or make you feel bad for who you are. Bottom line, be proud of yourself.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, ladies, you guys have an awesome Sunday. I hope everybody gets lots of rest, and I will see you guys later. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.